All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, and we're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, today is another installment of our camp series called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob, where we go into the treacherous and just diabolical history of Esau Edom and what he's done to both the northern and southern kingdom, in the United States. All right. And it continues to this very day. We just saw recently, down south, they were really gutting the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So this stuff has never stopped. And I think, well, I won't say I think. I know those of us who are in the truth know that this place is not our rest. Okay? And the ones who don't know it, it's in their spirit. They get tired of dealing with the BS, It's like Jake just throwing up his hands. I don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do. So, but we know that the devil's coming down with great wrath, because he knows he has but a short time. And hey, he's about to be taken out. All right? But regardless, today's article is coming from EJI, which stands for Equality Justice Initiative. It's one of several websites we use, sources we use to, talk about the history of what happened to Jake on this land, okay, and putting it to scriptures, really revealing that, all of these things, that atrocities that have hit us, all go back to the curses, okay, of Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, all right, and there's no escaping those, as the Lord said in there, go ahead, there should be a sign of wonder on you and your seed forever. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 65. Mm-hmm. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Huh?
And thy life, just starting off with verse 65, we don't have any ease among these heathen nations where we're scattered to. I'd rather be over here in Babylon or the Americas, or the other part of the world as well, the Eastern Hemisphere, Asia, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So wherever us Israelites we're scattered to, we are under the curses. We're being oppressed. Our lives hang in doubt, because we don't have a certain day-to-day dwelling for the most part. A lot of our people are poor. A lot of them jobless, homeless, whatever, on drugs. So right now in the tribes, experiencing, straight up hardship, and it's all for us being disobedient to the Heavenly Father. We didn't keep that covenant. We didn't obey the oath that we said we would serve the Lord, and for that it's a thing called punishment. It's a thing called wrath, that Heavenly Father was moved to for us being disobedient. And that's the thing about our people; they don't understand that. Like, one of the scriptures I bring out a lot of times is Hosea 6. It says, in fact, I'll read it real quick.
6 and 4.
6 of them. It started at the top, like 1.
Okay.
Because it's just like straight to the point. The Lord done this to us, but He's gonna do this too. It's always a balance to the Heavenly Father.
Oh, that's like Isaiah 54.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
He's hid his face.
Mm-hmm.
Then great mercy will gather us here.
Did somebody grab that phone?
Hosea 6? You got Hosea 6 and 1?
No, I got a different precept.
Grab that Hosea 6 and 1 for him.
Con.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
This is Hosea chapter 6 and verse 1. It said, come. Well, it says the response to the Most High's rebuke. The subheading. Verse 1, it says, come, and let us return unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. he had smitten, and he will bind us up, you know, and that's that's exactly our solution to our problems. You know, when you read the NLT, it even says this: "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces. Now he will heal us. He has injured us. Now will he Now will he bandage our wounds." That's the healing process. Us returning this is the healing process.
Huh.
How we seek the Lord, get into His Word. That's how you learn the error, all right, of your ways, by seeking the Lord. Then you come to realize, hey man, I fucked up. You know, I messed up. I broke the covenant. I done this, done that. You know, I've done wicked. You know what I mean? That's the humbling part. You know, because you realize that, hey man, because our own actions is the reason why we're in this predicament. You know?
And that first step to healing and recovery was learning the correct name.
Mhm.
As Baruch 2:30 tells us, you know, in the land of captivities, you shall think upon my name.
Mhm.
So that was the first thing of healing. Go ahead, you
Well, the first part said, remember, they should remember
They
themselves.
shall remember themselves, yeah. They shall remember themselves and think upon my name, yep.
I got one more verse too.
Okay.
Verse 66 in Deuteronomy 28:66. "And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life." There you go, man. That's why, you know, when Esau come upon you, you know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're in fear. Would it be him pulling you over? Would it be him knocking at your door? You have a certain sense of fear, like, man, what's going to happen? You know this man's the devil. You know he can. You know if the Lord sanctioned it, he can basically, you know what I'm saying, do something to you, because it says in Romans 13, he bare the sword not in vain. So you know you don't know what Esau gonna do. You know you hope that Esau, you know, let you go. I got pulled over the other week. You know, he had me dead to right. You know, speed. Got caught me doing 80 in the 55. He was like, man, just go ahead, have a good day, man. You know, slow down, be safe. I was like, hey, why y'all about you out shot? You know, one that time. So
Yeah.
that's an example of our life hanging in doubt.
Yeah, when it said, when a man's ways please the Lord, even his enemies will be at peace with him. Proverbs 16:7.
Yep.
But then also to your point, that's where David, you know, the spirit, you say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That's what you got. You got it. You speak on it.
This is a Psalm chapter 23 and verse 4. It says, "Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." And you know, this America is known as the valley of the shadow of death. All right, you know, first and foremost because you know, this is where, you know, the all the tribes been put to death here in this land. You know, not only that, this place is low in morals, man. All right, you know, our people have been given over, you know, to being servitude under this devil Esau Edom, man. You know, so death is always lingering here in this land, man. And our people are the main ones, you know, being targeted. You know, here in this society, man. You know, it says, "Thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." All right, and that's going into the scriptures, man. You know, the ones that have accepted Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, you know, in the you know, on this side of here in these latter days, you know, they understand that the scriptures is what is a source of comfort, man. You know, something that the majority of our people don't have, you know, because they rejected Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai on this side, you know. And you know, we're, you know, the whole nation of Israel, you know, we're under the curses, so you know, we still experience you know, these things, you know, being, you know, pulled over by the police, and you know you can feel that pressure, you know, from you know, the enemy Esau Edom, you know. But you know, we have the rod and the staff, man. And we have the scriptures to comfort us, you know, to help guide it, to help guide us through, all right, this wicked ass kingdom, man.
Yeah.
You know, because Esau Edom is just there lurking. You know, hey, the nation of Israel, we're the prey on this side.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And Esau, Edom is what the predator, man. You know.
I will tell you how you bring back a very vivid memory when you said that. If you recall, Philando Castile and Alton Sterling were murdered 2 days apart. The guy that was trying to sell CDs, and Philando Castile complied, showed his hands, let him know he had firearm, registered and everything. And that, what was that guy, that cop's name? Jimenez. Fired in the car 7 times with his daughter and his girlfriend. Killed him in cold blood. And like you said, that fear, man. I sat in my driveway doubting if I was going to go to work, man. Because it could happen just like that. Just like that. So, all right. That's all you had. That's all you had. Okay, so we'll get into the article now. It's on the screen. Again, it comes from EJI. We'll put a link to this article in the description box of the video. You can read it at your own leisure. Okay, it says Chicago Real Estate Board votes to expel members who sell to black families in white neighborhoods. All right. It says on May 4th, 1921, the Chicago Real Estate Board voted unanimously to expel members from the board who sold property to black families in neighborhoods where white people live. The president of the board, M.L. Smith, openly expressed his commitment to maintaining segregation throughout Chicago and advocated for a plan to exclude black families from most of Chicago's available housing. Now, you got a key here. This is 1921. Okay, the Reconstruction period. Jake was doing very well on its own. Okay, because this same month, Tulsa happened. Okay, Jake had his own neighborhoods and stuff, and they came and destroyed it. So they didn't want you to have your place to live, and they didn't want you around them. That just goes to show you how this devil is, you know. Just utterly ridiculous. He takes and destroys your stuff, and then don't want you to come around him. All right? It's just that mindset of that devil, man. It's something you gotta marvel at, because, you know, I forget who was talking the other night. We have to sit back, man, and look at how low this individual, this nation of people is, and figure out how in the fuck did we get to this point where they ruling over us. It's utterly ridiculous.
Well, to you, and another part is that what we look at is, like, starting with, you know, let's just start with from our women. You know, today, because the scriptures, it's prophecy. You know, everything's prophecy. It said a woman shall compass a man, right? The reason I'm bringing this up is because they systematically, man out the house rule, right? They systematically created a division. Proverbs 6, we always bring that up. He that soweth discord amongst brethren. You brought out Deuteronomy 28, where you read down, it says a man's eye shall be evil toward his wife, toward his brother, right? Esau, you know, being rulers over us, he pretty much helped forth that affliction. He's seen the division amongst us and help create and perpetuate certain things. First and foremost, over the, you know, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, but mostly the Judite man coming out of, you know, so-called slavery. You know, the chattel, what do you say, the chattel slavery?
Chattel slavery, yeah.
Right? And so as a result, now people are looking from the other nations, and then of course they put it on TV, they perpetuate criminals, thugs, and all of that, right? Which is a projection. And so then they look at us today, and they're like, how are they in this condition? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But things like this are coming out all the time. How you were redlining, how you were purposely, like, affluent men can't go into, you know, are being blocked from who have the wealth, who have the money. Oh, and then on top of that, when we did have our own affluent communities, through jealousy and envy of the devil, they came in and they destroyed them. Put lakes over them. So we're finding out all this stuff, man. The Lord is uncovering it. And now, and then, okay, now going back to their women, and then the other nations are seeing, and they're like, wow, they've done all this to you, and yet you still the most beautiful people.
Yep.
You know, you still want to be around us.
I laugh because I say we the most beautiful people right now, because when the Lord put that power back in our hands to do what He needs, what He said He was going to do by the hand of my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a precept. Can you bring the one out where he says how much more in property?
Yeah. I got you.
Walk the shop. You go ahead, bro.
Guys, just real quick. This is Psalms chapter 73 and verse 5. It says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." All right, and that's because Esau. That's because Yahweh Shai put this double Esau Edom in the power seat right now, man. All right, and you know, Esau Edom's in power. You know that's why he's able to do all these you know, atrocious works and you know, atrocities, you know, to our people, because he's been given that power, man. You know, and it said he's not in trouble, you know, at like other men. Okay, because you know during through his whole time being in the power seat, he's not being subject to the curses. You know, like how the nation of Israel is, man.
Yep.
You know,
That's one of those clues how you know he goes back to Cain, man. You know, couldn't touch him, and who was the one after Cain? Lamech. You know, if he can be, nobody can touch him. What do you say?
70 times 7.
Yeah, 70 times 7, man. Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds like Amalek too. Not saying that's him, but look at how he's moving today, man.
Well, they deceived the wicked.
Yeah.
That's how you know that Cain came back. Because guess what? Can't nobody touch them damn devils.
Nope.
Who? Bibi, Netanyahu, you know, he been what? Charged with crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Court, right? And yet he ain't been brought to justice.
Well, you have again. We keep bringing up those files, and no one's been prosecuted or no one's been brought to the forefront, and they're saying these are top elite banking men and women. Actually, the one woman I think you bring it up all the time was said that like if they indicted all those who were actually involved, they would have no government. You know? Oh, we find that they were doing I guess a guy had went down a list of like crimes from DUIs to domestic disputes. I mean domestic violence to different gun charges and different stuff, and they were asking who you think this was. That projection again. It was like it was basketball players, football players, you know, because predominantly black, right, or Israelites, right. No, it was like, no, that's your politicians. That's the political. Those are the ones. So we're finding that, you know, again, starting ahead of apostles and elders have already been letting it know that these are the wicked, you know, that the Bible speaks of. And the Lord, in today's time, He's just revealing it, and it becomes more and more evident, you know, of their wickedness. Yeah. You have more? Yeah, go ahead.
It says, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain." Yeah, that's right, man, because righteous judgment hasn't fully been executed upon this devil, man. You know, the scriptures talks about what in Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter, it says, "For sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil." All right, that's Esau Edom right now, man. All right, you know, really Esau Edom. All right, he's in these wicked elites of the nation of Esau, man. All right, they're really being reserved, all right, for that grand judgment when Yahweh Shai returns, man. All right, you know, they're really being reserved for that ultimate judgment, man. You know, because in Esau Edom's mind, he thinks that he's able to get away with you know, with all this wickedness and evil that he's doing, you know, to our people. All right, but really, there's a tab being noted on him, man. All right, that's why I said, "What therefore pride compasseth him compasseth them about as a chain. It says, violence covereth them as a garment. Yet he puts on violence, man. All right, this is a violent man. This is how he takes kingdoms. All right, through his violence, man. This is how he was able to build up this kingdom of America, man. Through him executing violence and death to our people, man.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I neglected. We started without giving out the opening scripture.
I'm going to hold this still.
Okay.
This is the book of Obadiah, verse 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Yeah, and that's something how, because I was thinking that in the spirit, and I know that we usually start with it, and so I was going to quote it again, but now it's coming out. But that's why all the things that are happening to them to this day, a lot of these things that they've, when you go also in, I think verse 15 says, for the day of the Lord is upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto you, right? So, everything that they've done, all the little secret plans that they've put upon our people, such as this article, all these things are going to fall back upon them, and it's going to only get worse and worse for them. That's why they're feeling the hurt, currently with all the things that are happening right now. But eventually, once, like you mentioned, once the Israelites are in authority, then that's when their hell is gonna really increase.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We just read the opening scripture, but everything that was said up to that point, it's talking about them. It explains the scripture perfectly. What they've been doing and their history, what they did to us, and they're going to be done away with. So
Yeah, because to block someone from, you're in a land, and to keep someone back from earning wages, to work to keep men
Servitude.
in servitude. Okay, well, at least there were tributaries, but they treated the tributaries, you kind of gave them some type of favor because you're benefiting from them.
Yeah.
But Esau, like you said, also in the same Obadiah, he said, well, he have not stole till he had enough. He's gonna pretty much like a turnip. He'll even pull the juice, out of a turnip, and that's really hard to do. But he's just gonna only like continuously oppress, and that's his makeup.
Yeah, that what you're referring to is speaking about the grapes, right? You go into the law, you're supposed to leave, increase of your vineyard or your fields, like a tenth of it for the poor. But so Esau, he'll take that too.
yeah,
And leave the poor, fucked up. That's why the poor in his society is in such bad case.
yeah.
Hey,
They don't have
they cutting the EBT.
that's for the poor.
They cut the
Well,
EBT.
well, poor Edomites originally.
Yeah.
Look,
But he that is cruel unto himself, how can he do?
Yeah.
Even to himself, to him should it be good.
Kind.
Yep.
Roughly paraphrasing, but yeah, man, that's
nature.
that's some so-called white man is known for, man. All right, you got something?
Yeah, precept. Based on what he was
I
saying.
still don't know what you want that precept.
Yeah, it might go. It might come
okay.
back.
This is
Wait, hold on, real quick. Did you still have more? Or you were good?
Oh.
I got a little bit more.
Oh, slack it.
Oh no, you good. It's all good. It's Psalms 73 and verse 8. It says they are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And that's going into how that's Esau Edom's attitude, man. He's proud. He's looking at everybody here upon the earth, looking at them like, man, can't nobody take me down. I took down the Israelites.
Yeah.
My kingdom is glorious, man. We got influence, throughout the four corners of the earth. Can't nobody step up to me. I'm the hammer of the earth.
Yep.
I'll just go to your country. I'll wage war, rob your resources, man.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? That's That's his attitude.
Yeah, he called it. What do you call that today? In Psalms 10 says he puffeth at his enemies,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know he speak loftily concerning oppression. We call that gaslighting today. You know, yeah. What are you gonna do? This I'm gonna do it. What you gonna do about it? You know, and the only thing he's got, you know, Jake is telling him 1-on-1, even if it's 3-on-1. You know, with no weapons involved, he don't stand a chance. You remember that video where the brother was at the pool?
Yeah.
He took on 7 of them by himself.
All kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just said that. I just thought about it was a guy at the gas station was getting manhandled, and it was a mistaken identity, and he's suing for like $100 million. Jake, but the police, you know, had him, and it was like 3 or 4 of them, just all on him, just, you know, it's like, dang, you would take that many.
Yeah.
They, you know, they did him really bad, and now he's suing.
And the Jake, the other day you seen the Jake, the old Jake that whooping when he slapped the Edomite onto the road cart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was like fucking with the Jake. The Jake was an old Jake too. He slapped the shit out of him. He fell into the rail car.
Yeah.
And the train came.
Yeah, the train came and got him out of there.
Oh, okay.
You know?
He got him out of there.
Yeah. Let me get that precept, get us back. But what you were saying earlier, Barah, about, you know, not giving them, you know, you come and destroy their places, and then, you know, you keep them out of places, you know, even when they've earned it. This is Sirach 34:22. It says, "He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder." You know, not only, you know, you take away his home, he's constantly messing with Jake's employment. Okay, constantly.
Well, like you said, with though it was many of his own people, DEI, you know, but a lot of so-called black women lost. They're saying hundreds of thousands lost jobs.
Now, they started counting that. Actually, they've been counting that for a while. That goes all the way back to COVID.
Yeah.
So it was, I was reading an article on that.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back to COVID, and I think upwards 600, 700,000
Yeah.
women have lost employment. So-called black women have lost employment since you know, the pandemic.
Yeah. So though we get on, you know, we get on the woman, but it's like they're still, you know, they still are people, and they're being affected, and they started taking, you know, really trying to attack Jake. We know that this, you know, we're in that time of Jacob's trouble, you know, and that's part of it as well, because now these people aren't, you know, don't have jobs, and, you know, and you're defrauding them. You know, some people, after you let them go, then you come back later and you want to hire them back because your AI isn't working out, things like that. Well, but I'll continue. You have more?
No, that was it.
Okay, read that again.
Oh, get it back.
Yeah, it's lucky.
This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 22. It says, "He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder."
Can you pull up that defraud?
Yeah.
And that's why the Edomites is the only neighbor of the Israelites that was not promising mercy from the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he should have judgment without mercy. They have shown no mercy.
Ah.
Because even us being in this condition, you know, he don't want us to have completely nothing. Like, we can't have shit really. If you do got it, it's on the matter of time before you, what the fucking property deeds. You got Amalekites
Oh yeah.
forging property deeds, or, you know what I'm saying, land deeds and shit, taking Jake homes. And they intentionally or deliberately targeting blacks and Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't no hate crime being announced in the news. This is they doing this shit outwardly in public. You one day you just look up, it's a motherfucking Amalekite with fucking curly fries on the side of his head and a little whole ass little hat on his head, knocking at your door, talking about this is his house.
Yep.
Yeah, with the
Stinky
That's,
sewer rat knocking on your door.
mm-hmm.
You know? speaking Slovakian and German language,
Mm-hmm.
and portraying like it's the Lashwan Kodash. These people that have raped, robbed, and murdered us, and are in the power seat or ruling seat, you know, and yet again they're not brought to justice for this.
Right.
How the hell you get a fucking land deed or property deed of someone else's own with your name on it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an inside job. It's an inside job because now we're seeing that groups like AIPAC is going all the way to the local level. It's not just Congress now. I was watching a video the other day. People in Chicago got all over it. What about your money from AIPAC? They know, you know, so it's at every level. So they're gonna control the schools, everything at the local level. So it's not just federal. And what did he say? One of those Rothschild says, "I care not who makes the laws, as long as I control the money." Well, if you can control the money, you control the laws. Just that simple.
Your politicians are paid in buck.
Yeah.
You bring that defraud.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
It says, this is from Google. It says, defraud, illegally obtain money from someone by deception.
Yep. And property falls into that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's like you were speaking on.
Well, yeah, because your property, with respect to money, you know, equity.
Substance.
Yeah, it's substance. It's also equity. You know, you get to get a loan against it. You know, you build up that equity in it. God.
Precept. This is James 5, and I started at the top and read down. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." It says, and that's talking about, you know, the elites, man, because they the real rich men. You know, Floyd, the Oprah, they not rich. That's what you call a nigga rich.
High paid puppets.
Yeah, I paid coons. Right? I paid sellout niggas. Okay?
Well,
Who's rich is these banking families. They have trillions of dollars. Your money, Oprah money is shopping money. They can build a country off that little money. It ain't nothing. They control them. They make money. They make the money. Shit, that's when you got power.
Well, and to you, since we're bringing her up, you know, we know the situation. She went years ago. She went to a high-end store that was selling like $40,000 purses, and she walked in and they completely disrespected her.
Yeah.
You know, and like almost like, can you afford this? You know, she was a billionaire at the time.
Should have
Yeah.
threw a banana. Should have threw a banana in his.
Yeah. So that show you that in itself. You know, that no matter how much money we gain or how much substance we gain on this side, as long as we have another king of another nation ruling over us, we're never gonna fare well
Right.
in the system.
Right.
And that's the reality. People don't want to hear that,
Yeah.
but that's just the reality. You know, we have to accept that, and we're happy to accept it because we know that the Lord is going to set up one profitable soon enough.
Yeah.
You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know, it's going to turn these tables, man. You know, where we can really live in righteousness.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and peace, and away from them. You know, and have control and have full control. You know what they say, sovereignty.
Yep. God.
It says-
She would, she would fall into that classification of shepherds. It's talked about in Zechariah 11:5. You know, helping
Who's
them.
possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
The shepherds
and the
pity them
shepherds
not.
pity them not.
Yeah.
Oh,
The shepherds
That's
pity them
interesting.
not. You know, that's your leaders who are instrumental. You know, you can go back to King.
Which
You know?
they put up front. They
Yeah.
set her up. You know,
Yeah,
up front.
set her up. You know, King had a whole lot to do with that move with Planned Parenthood. He won the first Margaret Sanger Award.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Shit.
Somebody got that nigga too.
Yes.
Verse 2 says, "Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten." Yeah, because it says in Sirach 10 that what? By unrighteous dealings, all right, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And everything, or every way you've gotten this kingdom was unrighteous. And that's how you know that it's speaking to you elites, man. Because who's behind setting up America? When you look at the inception of America, it was directly Amalek. All right, the finance, the transatlantic slave trade that came over here before the transatlantic slave trade. You know, they brought Judah over here officially. And it was like, you know, they had already started over here in the Americas. You know, the northern tribes, but you know, who set the whole thing up, right? Who commissioned Cristobal Colon? It was all Amalek. It's all Amalek.
Let me jump in real quick because you quoted it. It's Sirach 10 and 8, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
There you go. And it was just prophecy, man. Like you said, it was divine destiny, whatever. Why I say that?
Manifest destiny.
Yeah, manifest destiny. And we agree, because why? It was prophecy that you come into power. All right? Revelation 20. You should be loose a little season, right? So it was prophecy that you come into power. It's just the way you came into power. All right? Which that's the Lord setting you up for to be judged anyway, because it was already written, all right, of what you would do and how you would be judged for it. So back in James 5, you didn't want to say something?
Yeah. Just we just brought out the definition of the word defraud, and the scripture that he just read, Sirach 10 and 8, deceive is one of the synonyms for defraud. So just
Deception.
bring that point out.
Yeah.
Back in James 5 and 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days, right? And that's why when you look at the treasure or the goods or riches, resources they got, look what they're doing right now. Look at all these countries they're going into. This oil is ours. This lithium is ours. This cobalt, whatever, this is ours.
And that's just like children too. You know, when you growing up as a child and you had that one that was like, mine, this is mine, mine. It's like, hold on, man. You know? And eventually people stop wanting to play with you.
Yeah, be ready to whip on them.
You know.
That's how it is. Like, we spiritually, you know, we like, man, Lord, we gonna give us our turn to get this devil. You know, look what he's doing. He just stealing our shit. And we can't do nothing about it, right?
Yeah,
We got way up in the Lord.
got the whole world in his possession.
John.
Yeah, it ain't by your might, but it's just through the will of the Lord setting you up that you got this. Like it says in Micah 2 and 1, it says what? Woe to him that devises iniquity and work evil upon his bed. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands.
John.
And who giving you your power? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And you don't even acknowledge that. That's how much pride that Esau has. You don't even acknowledge the Heavenly Father even giving this power, man.
He is not at all in his thoughts.
Yeah, Psalms 10. Yeah, not at all in his thoughts.
A little more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 4, get to the point, right? The laborers, right? Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth. And who are the main laborers? So-called Negro, Latino, and the American people, the Israelites. We are the laborers. We're the one that's crying to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Jeremiah 50. And the children of Israel and the children of Judah shall go weeping. They shall seek Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai their power. That's the ones of us that are awakened to this knowledge. You know? We're the ones weeping and crying and seeking Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and complaining to them, the Father, all right, about the things that you're doing down here. And even when our people die, they complain to the Heavenly Father. They go before the throne and complain. Right? Because you look at the ones that's not in their right mind, when they're in their right minds, when they go back to the spirit world, then they know. They complain to the Heavenly Father. You know, how long? Faith in the truth does thou not judge them that dwells on the earth. Basically, the ones that spill our blood, that are ruling in injustice, ruling in wickedness, man. You know, that's persecuting the poor or the righteous, because the poor and the righteous are interchangeable. Because who's the poor? The righteous seed, the Israelites. You know, it says, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Lord of heaven's armies. Okay? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It says, verse 5, ye have lived in pleasure on earth and been wanton, and that's the elites, man. They don't have to eat the food we eat, nor drink the water we drink, or breathe the air that we breathe. Where they dwelling at, they don't have chemtrails in their air.
Yep.
You don't see planes flying and they breathing in chemtrails, all sick and shit. You know what I mean? Gotta take oregano, the black seed oil, the fucking whatever you taking to try to keep your immune up. No, they breathing clean, fresh air.
Yep.
You know, you over here, you fucking get out. You gotta put some eucalyptus or some peppermint oil in your steamer. And, open up your lungs. Your lungs is caving in because of the shit you're breathing in.
Right.
They ain't gotta do that. You know, they ain't gotta take fucking elderberry syrup. You know what I mean? The vitamin D, you got the vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. You know what I'm saying? You vitamin D, 5,000 IU. They don't need none of that shit.
Well, shoot, they could just get a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jake neighborhood.
Well, that's why they telling Jake to stop marking that stuff on your license. On organ donor, stop doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, here, and they can track you with your phone too. They gonna know exactly where you're gonna be and how long you're gonna be there to bump you off and take your stuff. Because it's got to be fresh. Or when you get an organ, it's got to be fresh.
Yep.
Sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
again, we Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, you have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. And you got to go into the pleasure on the earth. That goes into the blessing of Esau. All right, it says what?
Fatness.
You should have the fatness of the earth. All right. And the fatness of the earth goes into what? It goes into the choicest part of the land.
Mm-hmm.
It also mentions oil too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you look up that word fatness, it goes to oil. What's the reason why he's trying to destroy, or why he destroyed all these countries in the Middle East, which is West Asia? Why he destroyed their government and took over their oil fields? It was about the oil. Trump came out and said it's about the oil.
Yeah.
So how much more us? We ain't got nothing. He just want our land because Esau find different things with Jake dwell at. Or he find a way, oh, you know what? We can make a factory over here. It's going to bring jobs, but we need a roadway, so we're going to create this roadway through here. We'll remove them,
Yep.
right? We're going to build a commercial building, but, you know, we're going to need some local attraction to attract the business investors. You go downtown, my downtown have all these different coffee shops and eateries. It's to attract the investors.
Yep.
And guess what? Them little buildings and places they build for these rich people, the rich Edomites, it was a Jake neighborhood.
Yep.
These highways through America, you look at their history,
Yep.
it was all Jake neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. That was the Highway Act of 1956 when
Boom.
the Highway Act 1956 when Dwight D. Eisenhower what was the president, and out of that he has his own expressway on the northwestern side of Chicago called they call it the Ike or the Eisenhower
Yep.
Expressway 290.
I know you're talking about. It's like one of the smaller highways. That
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like 465.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Compared to 65, the main highway. But you got the other expressways. Like you got any highway like that, they have that.
Yep.
You ever go to major cities? It's like that. The main highway, if it's 75, they got another part of 75. It may be 4 or 275. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was make a distinction between it running east and west and north and south.
Yeah, the odd and even numbers.
Yep.
Even numbers run east and west, odd numbers north and south. They teach you that when you get into trucking. That's how you know you're learning direction real good. If you don't know where you at, where your marker you at, based off that number, you know exactly where you're at. Well, I'm such and such mile marker, so I'm north. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the mile marker goes up.
Yep.
So I'm going north, and the number going higher. If it's odd, but then if it's lower, I'm south. Because the lower numbers is towards the south of the state or southern part of the state. You go towards Louisville, it's exit 1. But up here towards Gary, what is it? 3 something?
253.
Yep.
See?
Yeah.
253, 255.
North and south.
And then it connects the toll road.
There you go. But
Yeah.
that
He had a precept, right?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, he had. You said something about the richest
Mhm.
So can you repeat that part again?
It says, verse 5 again, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you.
Yeah, and going to those riches that they obtained. This is the book of Job 20, again in verse 27, which is what's happening right now. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, that's his continuous sin, compounded sin, and the earth shall rise up against him. That's what's happening right now. Okay, there are places that are going to protect Netanyahu, but there are places that say that if he lands, that he's getting arrested. Okay, and the ones that they're going to protect him, they got they're in those files. All right, and it says, verse 28, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of wrath. See, it's like you mentioned with Sirach 10 and 8. You know, you got the scripture goes on in Job, says he got to vomit that all up. Okay, you know, when you vomit something, not only is it painful, it's going to reveal everything that you consume. So we're going to find out a lot that they took. All right? It says in verse 29, this is a portion of a wicked man from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, that's his heritage. You know, our heritage is eternal life, immortal bodies, and an everlasting kingdom. This is what you got coming to you.
Yep. This is what Yahushua said in John 10 and 10. I've come that they may have life and have it more abundantly.
God.
Yeah. So let's touch. We're gonna do rapid fire on
the article.
On the article, and then of course we're gonna post the link. I know you say that quite a bit.
Yep.
You get the link posted, and
Yep.
then whatever we miss, you could always go back and revisit this story.
Okay. Back to the article. It's like 3 paragraphs. So
Okay.
Real short.
Yep.
It says, seeking housing and employment. We talked about that. Black people in cities like Chicago were met with constant, often violent, or what kind of 1 in 10, resistance to integration. In the 1920s, white real estate agents and the Chicago Real Estate Board began organizing white citizens throughout Chicago to establish neighborhood covenants or contractual agreements among property owners, prohibiting them from leasing or selling their properties to black people. You saw that in that series, Them.
Yeah.
That was on Amazon.
Because that them, and I was thinking about that because my mind was going back to, it was like 1950s in California, and it was initially an affluent so-called white neighborhood, and they were really trying to keep our people from occupying that area. But I think even before then, it was like our people were in that area, so it was just like it's a lot of stuff that was going on. If it was happening there, all the major cities was also dealing with this as well.
Oh yeah, and not to but that helps you understand the movie Friday, the first one.
Yeah.
No matter where you lived in the United States, everybody could identify with that movie. The same thing was happening in every neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
Every neighborhood, the same type of people. What was happening. Jake was living amongst Issachar the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah, precept.
Real quick, this is a book of Daniel 7:25. Now we know it's talking about Antiochus the 4th Epiphanes, but you can apply it to the day too because the saints are even wore out even more during this time, right? It says Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And when you go into the word wear, it goes to the Hebrew word bala, which means to harass continuously. And this land grabbing or stealing, all right, or spelling, members who sell to so-called black families in white neighborhoods. And then they always gonna come back and try to get Jake out the neighborhoods too. Once Jake buy it, Jake buy some shit, and when too many Jakes come in there, property value go down. Then either might want to come back and reclaim them lands. That's why you got regentrification. Regentrifying, that's all it is. They retaking over the land. So
and just a thought that come to mind just off of that, like an example that happened even just recently with the Northern Kingdom, when they were like, oh, if you have illegals working in your company, which they have been doing that, picking fruit, doing all this stuff for the longest of time, and working on houses and different stuff. But now it's like if their paper's not right, then we're gonna tax the company. We're gonna make you pay, for it, and so then that makes the company go, oh, we need to get rid of them. So they just start getting rid of like all their employees, which is affected.
Yeah.
Calling yourself affected them. Now you can't find the labor, that you to replace, the type of work. Yeah,
That's strategic. And what happens? The company go under. Then what? Some higher up elite or billionaire come and buy the company. So they just squeezing the smaller company owners out. And that's all it is. Because the billionaires, they ain't nothing but just little minions of the elites, lower, lesser luminaries. So that's all they is.
they go and buy up all the little spots like
Farms.
like AES,
Look at Keel Bates. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How the fuck you into agriculture now? You buying all the farms.
Yeah.
So that's just a prime example. All the farms, you bankrupt and you about to close down. Well, guess what? Then we gonna come in and we gonna buy it. Even though we making lab grown meat, we don't even need these cows. We gonna destroy that.
Cellular culture. That's what they put on
So it's the
package.
same thing, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so back to the article. It says, drafted by a lawyer who was a member of the Chicago Planning Commission, a template racial restrictive covenant which was circulated by the real estate board targeted anyone with 1/8 part or more Negro blood, or who had any appreciable admixture of Negro blood from buying or renting a home in neighborhoods where white people already live. And that's another one of the pseudoscience. How do you know what 1/8 of blood is? They just didn't want anybody who could tan, and they couldn't. For the most part, because the scriptures say, whatever your father is, that's what you are. That's your blood, 100%. All right. Numbers 1:18 says, on May 4th, 1921, the Chicago Real Estate Board voted unanimously to expel members of the board who did not join this project of residential segregation. If members sold property to black people in a block where there are only white owners, they would be met by immediate expulsion. Unsatisfied with this, the Chicago Real Estate Board launched a campaign for the next decade to increase the use of neighborhood covenants to restrict nearly all of Chicago to white residents, including organizing a series of speakers who traveled around the city of Chicago to promote residential segregation. Advocating for residential segregation, Board President M.L. Smith supported the expansion of the south side of Chicago where black people were permitted to live, stating, if you provide the places, the Negroes will segregate themselves. And that's where I'm from, south side of Chicago. It says, by the end of the 1920s, the board's efforts meant that restrictions for black homeowners and renters were so far widespread that these covenants, according to the Hyde Park Herald, okay, that's where Obama used to live, in a very affluent area, where that new museum is.
Quick history.
Go ahead.
This was originally called the Plan of Chicago. What we're reading into.
Okay.
And you mentioned something. I just looked it up. But basically, what it was is a plan to reconstruct Chicago living. So this article is defending, but it's like the surface level of what's really getting into. When you do your own research of these different individuals that set it up and whoever was part of the commission. Yeah.
Yeah, so what they did was, in my lifetime, they got rid of the Robert Taylor homes, Cabrini Green,
Yep.
moved all those people out to the south suburbs of Chicago. That's going towards Gary and Maryville and stuff like that. And then moved all the white people back into the city, okay, close to the riverfront, Lakeshore Drive and all of that, okay. They pushed them way out there. Now, those suburbs, which were at one point very affluent, very nice, man, run down like I don't know what, man. The Matchett used to be. That place is desolate now. River Oaks, you know, that's right as soon as you make the turn going into Chicago and come off at Torrance, that place, that's where you shot. Everything was out there. Now that place is a desert, man, for the most part. So it's small. Evergreen Plaza, 95. Well, that area over there, they really restricted stuff. You go past Elder Malcolm was talking about in one of his videos. You go past Western, that Oak Lawn Police pull your ass over in a minute. They're the ones who started those cul-de-sacs, which is kind of like the roundabouts here. Cul-de-sacs, you couldn't enter off a main thoroughfare like 95th Street into those white neighborhoods. You had to go down and come back up, and then they didn't let you out on there either.
Yeah, check this out. It says, Plan of Chicago, it promoted civic pride and urban planning by detailing the plan's vision for Chicago's future development, covering parks, transportation, and street systems, and was adopted into the city's school curriculum for over 2 decades.
Yep. Yeah, once back then when you heard urban renewal
Yep.
or blighted, they coming to take the black neighborhood. That's
True.
Yeah, all these man-made lakes, the highways, that was all part of that, man. All part of that. You know,
And then of course, you probably know that. Then you have like the sundown towns.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, you know, having to bring that out because again, you have these situations where it's like, look, we're trying to keep black folks from coming and just being in our area. So now you know, on top of the policy, you not being able to move in there. Now we don't even want you to even be able to drive through.
Right. Right.
So that's even furthering the affliction, you know, the restriction of our people, you know.
Speaking of that,
Like you said, as soon as you go into a certain area, it's like you're getting pulled over immediately.
Yeah.
They say that about, you know, these certain areas here, like in like Carmel and Noblesville, a certain you end up turning down a block or you going down a certain area, you start to see the difference in how the cars look. You know, the buildings actually look.
The streets.
Oh, you always talk about the McDonald's, the streets, man. Yeah.
No potholes, no
Yeah.
patches,
You in the hood.
and no overhead power lines either. All that shit is buried underground.
God. So they get, you know, so of course they work to give the best of things, you know, in those areas, and we see it, and you can tell the difference, you know, as far as the people.
Yep, sure can.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna bring this up because it's been a long time since I really played games, but like you play Grand Theft Auto. Look, he laughing. Ain't it like that?
It shows you on that game, like they like in that, like the developers of that game, they show you how run down the hood is, the potholes, gang violence and shit.
Yeah.
And then you go to the hills, man. It's all Edomites driving Lamborghinis and shit like that.
Sipping lattes, walking like, I'm like, dang, you can see it. The car changes, you know.
Yep, the cars change, infrastructure changes.
God.
You know, it's saying that art imitates life, man.
Yeah.
God. Yep. All right. Anything else?
So I just want to throw this out there. You know, brothers really into this. It's called the Whackers Manual of the Plan of Chicago.
Whackers?
Yep, the Whackers Manual of the Plan of Chicago, Municipal Economy by Walter D. Moody.
I wonder if that's named after the
He's involved in a lot
upper
of
and
shit.
lower Wacker Drive in Chicago. You know, where they built, that's where they filmed Batman with the Joker. Yeah, upper and lower Wacker Drive.
Probably.
And you can't don't try to use GPS in there. That would turn your stuff. It's like it reprograms the GPS. You can't even use it.
See?
I could have
You
been.
use that signal.
I think I might have been caught up in that.
Yeah.
Is it downtown?
Yeah.
I got caught in that.
Right by the bridge.
I got caught in that.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all a story.
Upper and lower Wacker Drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably some history involved in that.
Yeah.
Probably some shit to see.
Us.
No,
They
probably
probably mold right over us
Mhm.
under that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I got something. Is that it?
Yeah, because that
Okay.
was the we talked. What was that thing in 1919? You had the Great Chicago Fire.
Yeah, yeah.
They have an architectural tour on Lake Michigan. Okay, if you go on that tour, it is a straight line, straight divided with the buildings. The buildings show you a definitive line from everything that they rebuilt to everything that was still old. And you can see that from the ocean. Like, dang, that is true. All modern architecture
Yeah.
and old architecture.
I want to bring this out before we close. Before we close up, I want to bring this out because the reason why this is allowed is because, again, going back to our disobedience. It's the only reason this devil can do what he's been done, that he has done, I'm sorry, to us. Jeremiah 11:17 says, "For the Lord of hosts that planted thee have pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel and the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger, and offering incense unto Baal." Basically going to us worshiping other gods or idols. That's why all these things was allowed to happen. The Lord sanctioned this. So in order for us to get out of the situation, we gotta return. Ain't no other way.
Pretty simple.
You want justice against Esau? You want a recompense? You have to return to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? That's how we're going to get power over these nations, these heathen.
Yeah, we're gonna close with your precept.
Yeah, there was only one more paragraph, but I'll get the precept.
Okay, we can finish. Let's.
Okay.
Yeah, get your precept. We'll finish that paragraph.
Okay,
Man.
and this precept is just to back him up. This is the prayer of Azariah, chapter 1, beginning verse 7. It says, "In all things have we trespassed and not obeyed thy commandments, nor kept them, neither done as thou hast commanded us, that it might go well with us."
See, because if we had done, kept the Lord's ways, none of this would have fallen upon us. But we know that the creature was made subject to vanity, right? So this is all a learning process for us. This is all something to learn from.
Come.
It's all, learning a thing of learning how to be obedient
Yep.
to the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. When you get to the nitty gritty of it.
Come.
Go ahead.
And we see the effects of our like the same thing what you're saying, the effects of our disobedience and how someone that's lawless, how a world becomes in the hand of someone that is disobedient.
This is the bitter herbs.
Yeah.
We're reading this, when we go to the Passover, we eat the bitter herbs.
Yeah.
This is we're reading the bitter herbs part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slavery is fucking bitter. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, this going to speak to just what you just said. Verse 8, prayer of Azariah 1, verse 8. "Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment." Verse 9. "And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world."
Esau.
Come.
Cruel Lord, these days time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
verse
Begin
10.
with Amalek.
Yep.
It starts with Amalek.
Yeah. Well, the most cruel, the unjust king, the most wicked in all the world. Amalek, all of them that I see, man, they are totally wicked across the board. You have some Edomites that try to do good, they could be Jake, but nah, man, that Amalek is something else.
I
What
came
they
across
believe.
a video and I was like, damn, they still shooting and doing stuff to people over there.
Yeah.
Because see, they haven't been speaking on it a
Right.
lot because they was like, look, man, y'all going crazy on these people. Y'all need to cut it out. Then other stuff start going on. They still was like dealing
Yeah.
with them people, man, over there.
Fucking Ishmael, look.
Yeah. But is that it?
Yeah.
You got the.
It says,
okay.
"And now we cannot open our mouths because we become ashamed and reproach to thy servants, who are the prophets, and to them that worship thee." So yeah, we can't open our nothing you can say because you brought this on yourself. All right. Back to the article. It says, by the end of the 1920s, the board's efforts meant that restrictions for black homeowners and renters were so far widespread that these covenants, according to the Hyde Park Herald, stretched like a marvelous, delicately woven chain of armor from the northern gates of Hyde Park at 35th and Drexel Boulevard to Woodlawn. I know exactly where that is. Park Manor, South Shore, Windsor Park, and all the far-flung white communities of the South Side. At the end of the decade, close to 90% of Chicago neighborhoods were covered by covenants restricting access for black people, so-called black people. It says white real estate associations, homeowners, and politicians in Chicago remain committed to residential segregation well into the latter half of the 20th century. All right, and that's pretty much it. It says to learn more, read the Equal Justice Initiative's report on segregation in America. But this proves exactly what I was saying earlier. This stuff is happening at the local level. We know it started at the federal. You know, this is, like I said, it's what do you say? What do you call this here? It is like a marvelous, delicately woven chain of armor. Okay, meaning they're gonna cut us off at every turn.
Yep. Yeah.
Defend against us at every turn.
Did Isaiah 10:1 come out?
Nope, I was just gonna call for
Okay,
that. Yeah.
then we'll finish. We'll
Yep.
hear it. It says, and then verse 2, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, and you speak on it. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed."
Con and unrighteous decree. A decree is like is a law. Okay. And right grievousness. It was to grieve Jake. You know, like I said, we were groping at noonday. You know, you can't do nothing. Totally constrict you. You know, keep you from being enjoying life. And we see that with the individual. Jacob be, I tell you, I'm sitting in Castle Mall with my boys, waiting for my wife to come out of the store. You know, white woman just walks up. Are these your sons? Like, who the fuck you talking to? They're so well behaved. It's like, ma'am, you need to push on. We sitting here by ourselves, minding our own business. You need to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need you to tell me that. These are my kids.
Yeah.
Everybody not savages like you. You know. Anyway, so yeah, you know, that's going back to the Isaiah 10:1. You know, they just want to grieve you, man. They can't stand to see Jake happy under any circumstance. Under any circumstance.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey, what it said, they said, "Grieve the enemy." He that
Teaches his son, grieve the enemy.
The enemy.
Mhm.
Yeah, they, bro. All right, it
You
says,
see, that's his come on.
yeah.
You see Barzal's son, he obviously them the sons. See his gray beard and they young faces? Come on, all right.
Yeah.
Stupid bitch. Go
It
ahead.
said, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people,
Mm-hmm.
that widows may be their prey.
That's why he always targeting the women.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then the women going to indoctrinate the children, so
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole family that's fucked up.
Mhm.
Once Esau get done with it.
Yeah. That's why I took the man. He said he took the man out of the home. At
Yep.
least there's certain things that a man is not going to stand for.
Yeah,
in the truth, out the truth, but it's just much higher. When you're in the truth.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and just to give you physical history of that, that's why John Amos got killed off of Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
rather
remember
than
that. I
use
remember
them,
Yep.
Good Times, as that ended, here comes the Jeffersons. But they didn't want to show the family from the projects progress.
Yeah.
That's why that happened that way. Yeah.
Oh, now you going into that? That's a whole other.
It is.
Because old boy, he got his stuff stolen. He wrote all of those shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Amalekites took it
Yeah.
from him.
Amalekites
But,
took
yeah.
his stuff.
Yeah, but it says that they may rob the fatherless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precept.
That Amalekite Norman Lear wasn't shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
He died a painful death. Good.
Yeah, good for him. So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, "Let us oppress the poor righteous man, let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age." And you look at that, the poor righteous man, of course, is the Israelite man. All right, and they savagely approach the women, and like I said, indoctrinated her, and she gonna fuck up the children.
Yep.
And the old, the old folks, they don't got no fight left in them.
Mm-mm.
They wore out. Spent their whole lives fighting against oppression. There was civil rights movement. Now they just wore out.
Yeah, we saw that in real time. Jim Brown, he got real soft in his old age. Muhammad Ali
Yep.
got soft in his old age, and you didn't see that when they were young, man. So it happens.
Yeah, that's a whole, and that's another. It brings
Yeah.
up some other thoughts as well as to why the Lord,
Yep.
He gives us this truth. A lot of times, a lot of younger men,
Yeah.
come into this truth, and fight and push,
Mhm.
that. But and especially when an old man of age also gets it, Go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 11, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
Amalek all day. That's speaking of the same person that came up behind us when we were fleeing Egypt.
Okay. Attack the feeble,
Mm-hmm.
the weak ones. It says, verse 12, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, which is us, the Israelites, again with the man, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings.
Mm-hmm.
He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education.
That's the prophets right now. What was it? Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Isaiah 13 2. We shake the hand at them. We rebuke them. Isaiah 29. 33. It's like, can you grab that right quick?
Also,
33, 29.
Isaiah. You said
No,
Isaiah.
Deuteronomy.
What? Oh, Deuteronomy.
33, 29. Isaiah 13. We speak to the gates of the nobles.
You got it.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 29. It says, happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency.
Mm-hmm.
And thine enemies shall be found as liars unto thee. It says, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing with just a word. No physical violence, just a word.
Hebrews 4 and 12.
Hebrews 4 and 12. That's why, was that 2017? What was his name? The FBI director, I forget his first name, last name Ray, when they were having that council on domestic terrorism. I remember the clearest day when Apostle Ron Long caught it. Right when they were about to pass it, close the meeting, or pass it to conduct it, he said, let us throw in for the record the black Hebrew Israelites.
Yep.
I wasn't in the camp then, and I saw that, like 2017. Apostle Ron, wait a minute, what's this?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And they actually are getting. I seen a video where they were. I forget the lady. I've seen her before, but she was like hammering questions at him. It was like, well, you talking about these black Israelites, but have they at any point, like the KKK, set fires and do it? He's like, well, I don't really know, like kind of dancing around the whole thing.
Projecting.
But
Projecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was California Senator Karen Bass.
okay, yeah, she was on his head.
In Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. She's
She's
a
on-
mayor now.
Yeah,
She's a
she was
mayor
on
now.
his head, like asking these questions, and it's like you got these people in this list, but when I go down the list, she was talking about like I forget the name, the Aryan, the boy,
Proud Boys, all that.
all the different stuff. She's like, I'm seeing more things going on with these people than and you kind of like are amplifying the Hebrew like these folks, and you clustering them, putting them in a mix with these, but can you tell me, give me an instance where they did X, Y, and Z? And he was like,
Yeah, violence.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, let's say exactly what it is. Like the scriptures say, they do a diligent search.
Mhm.
They know the end game. They know the end game. And he said, the tents of Judah shall raise up first. And the Lord made it very clear by the hand of my people, Judah and Israel. He also said it in Joel, Judah and Jerusalem. So Judah's mentioned first, both times. They know that woman, Judith Varney Shore, on American soil. That the number one problem for the state of Israel is the black youth of America. We way over here. Everybody know we're not unified, and we ain't got no weapons.
No military. So how's that the case?
Yeah.
So with that, we hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting to the elect body of the true believers. If you let us go, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
But we like to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning to you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Like, you gotta get going.